I'm liking this whole getting darker earlier.
You know I'm not.
You're not. I'm like a
you think I would. I hate the sun, but man, it makes me feel sleepy at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Not me. I love it. I'm like a vampire. That flaming ball of fire can go back to hell. I love it. I was kind of sad because today it was bright and sunny. The fog wasn't around today. I was like, dang it. So,
we're going to have rain for the next 4 days here.
Oh, send some of that my way, please. That would be nice. Thank you very much. Get the weather machine out, Johnny, and send it over.
My Democrat storm carrier.
Yeah.
Lord, mercy, Jesus. Only Trump can turn people against weatherman like that.
Did you hear that they started threatening people on the Weather Channel?
Yes.
The most benign thing. Like, I love the Weather Channel. You know, I just turn it on and like, oh, look, there's a lot of rain over there. Look, there's a bunch of snow over there. Like, I like the Weather Channel, but
he poisons everything he touches. I swear.
The most benign thing. And now they're going after, like, I didn't have that on my bingo card. I really didn't.
I didn't see that one coming. You got your maggots hating the weather people and issuing death threats against the weather people.
Yeah.
Some law from the 1700s, from before we were even a country, that he wants to go back to.
Send him back to the 1700s, please. Lord, the moment he lies and steals, they can chop his hands off and his tongue out.
Just FYI, Joe Biden, when next time you're making more of those weather machines, make a time machine so we can send him and MAGA back in time.
Or get the Trump map and circle Mar-a-Lago, and the storm goes right there. It's magic markers. That's why they call them magic markers.
Was it 1798? Okay, we were a country by then, so we did have laws.
No, let's send them back to, like, I don't know, the Dark Ages. You know. Let him get acquainted with like the bubonic plague and stuff. That sounds like
he's probably a carrier. You know how you can be a carrier of COVID and not get it? He's probably a carrier of the bubonic plague. And
he is a plague. He's a plague in himself, I suppose.
Johnny, is that new? Is that a new Stanley?
Well, not really. No.
It's not that hot orange red. Okay, for some reason you showed me that you showed it to me last week, but for some reason the color looks different.
Oh, now. Probably because of this camera. I was on the laptop last time. I got a Bigfoot sticker when me and Jen went to the Bigfoot store. So
I love those mugs. I gave them to my guitar teacher's wife and I gave the T-shirt to him. He loved the T-shirt. He's like, God, it's so soft. I'll wear this every day.
Last time
those mugs were so nice. I'm like, I got to get a couple for myself next time I go back.
I had gotten, when I was way up north, when we went to the Redwoods, Peanut didn't go with me to go camping, but I stopped at a store because, like, it's a thing from the Pacific Northwest about Bigfoot, and I got him, like, you know, those. It looks like the yellow signs that they put for when people are going to cross. And it's got Bigfoot, and it says Bigfoot doesn't believe in you either. And he's got it up in the garage. I was like, I love it.
Let's see. Somebody has a birthday this week. 3 days? 4 days? 4 days?
Yeah, 4 days.
4
days.
Happy birthday.
What Johnny got me. He got me, this one's really pretty. He got me this little.
Well, Jen picked those out.
Oh, it was you, Jenny?
They're for both of us.
Thank you so much, guys. It's a little obsidian owl. It's so cute. So I have it over here next to the little lapis lazuli angel you sent me. So I have these together. And then this one's, I can't pronounce it, agate? Is that how you say it, agate? Little heart. So I have them all here from you guys. Thank you so much. And then a gift card, which I have not spent yet. I was going to go and I was like, stop it. Because of my membership, I'm like, well, they'll probably send me a coupon or something so I can get more.
Yeah.
You should have seen in the shop. I had everybody hunting for owls. Like, I need an owl.
my little owl over there, my owl lamp here, my owl over there. So yeah, I got a little owl. Thank you guys so much. And then I bought myself a plant for my early birthday. Look at that.
What's on top of it?
This is the plant, and then it eventually will like trail down. Those are the leaves. See how tiny they are?
You know, I've always liked green more than I do like flowers.
Yeah. I mean, eventually, I don't know how, but it's supposed to flower or bloom, but I don't know when. But I bought it.
Give it time.
Yeah, I got myself, well, all my begonias, I've had those flower quite a few times, and the flowers are really pretty. So yeah. And then my mother-in-law got me, I think these are chrysanthemums. She got me these. These are annuals, right, Jenny? Because the sticker doesn't say.
Yeah, most of them will come back every year as perennials, but it depends on the variety.
I don't think these are perennials. I think it might be
and where you live, they might come back because you've got a warmer climate.
Yeah, but I think that they might be annuals. I'll have to look it up on the internet. Because you know, like some flowers, they only bloom once and then that's it, they're done. So I don't know if these are perennials or annuals, but they're really cute.
Well, I finally got a whole bunch of tomatoes right here at the end of fall, and it snapped and turned cold today.
Oh wow!
I picked all these tomatoes. I'm going to make a pot of chili tomorrow and use them.
I saw this recipe that was going viral on Instagram, and it was a bunch of tomatoes, like cherry tomatoes, Romas, whatever, and people were just cutting them up, or the person was cutting them up, putting them on, like, you know, the big baking dishes on the stove and cooking them in olive oil, and then taking a huge thing of cream cheese, putting it in there with garlic and basil and something else. I saved the recipe, and then putting it in the oven, and it comes out like a dip, but you put it in, that's your salsa, or you could use it as a dip. Not your salsa, your sauce for pasta if you wanted, and it looks so good. But we don't, I threw out all my tomato plants because they got nasty.
I had these giant cherry tomatoes that came in. They were beautiful, but I had like just a whole bowl full of them. And then I had quite a few of the bigger celebrity tomatoes. So I'm like, okay, we'll make chili tomorrow. Because the day before I left for Portland, I picked a whole bunch of tomatoes, cooked them, and put them in the freezer for in the wintertime.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Any announcements, Jim?
I've got readings available in December. JenLynTarot.com. I'll be doing another seminar next year in like June or July, probably. We'll announce dates later.
Becca, any announcements?
I've replied to all emails for Grand Tableaus. I still need to do Elon Musk's Grand Tableau.
The JD Vance one was awesome. If you haven't seen that, go watch Becca's video from Thursday night, I think it was. Yeah,
it was Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday, I got busy. I meant to go online, but yesterday we had family over, so we didn't get back home until like 6, 7 o'clock. And I was like, you know what? No. So I'll try to, it should be quiet. Is tomorrow a federal holiday? Does anybody know?
Yes, it's Indigenous People Day and what used to be Columbus Day. And isn't Canada's Thanksgiving this weekend?
I think it was on Saturday.
So I have tomorrow off from work, so I can probably do JD Vance's Grand Tableau live tomorrow because it's a holiday at work for me. So that's all I got. And then I don't know, I don't mean to put you all both on the spot, but Thursday, I don't know if you guys wanted to get together and do a live stream while I attempt to bake some shit in my house.
Are you going to make yourself a birthday cake again? Because that was so much fun.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to make myself a birthday cake again.
I thought Lucky Girl and I were going to die from not being able to breathe watching you bake.
Yeah, I think I'll try to make myself a birthday cake. So
just let me know when.
Okay. I got to go get the stuff though. So I'm thinking red velvet again because that's like my favorite of all time. So yeah. Yeah, please bake. Yeah, that'll hopefully I don't or drop the cake on the floor. Yep.
So this week in history, they at the Coachella, where Donald Trump abandoned some of his parishioners, they believe they have thwarted a third assassination attempt as well.
What? Wait.
But it was a Republican.
A guy he had a fake ticket. He had a handgun, a shotgun, and a high capacity magazine or whatever they call it. Had on a uniform or whatever kind of uniform he had on and tried to get in with his fake ticket. And they stopped him and arrested him and all that. So they believe that was the third attempt upon the cult leader.
Wow, I hadn't heard about that.
Mm-hmm. So my first question:
how many more staged events is he going to have? one a week?
Is should he stop campaigning? Because they seem to be following him.
Paying him to. I guess Trump will be coming out with a new bronze statue or fake bronze statue to commemorate it.
So many words.
I hadn't even heard about that. Well, I haven't watched any news or anything. I just happened to see the one about Coachella because it was all over Twitter.
It was more Coachella-esque because it wasn't in Coachella.
No, it wasn't in. No.
That just happened today.
Wait, that just happened today? Well, wasn't the rally yesterday?
Well, it didn't happen at that rally, not at the other one.
So I start with the loser Trump, and his plans are already off the ground. Get it? Because he pays people to do stuff. These are actually supporters of his. It's premeditated. So he can look strong and indefensible. He needs to be more concerned about making sure there's return buses for his rally attendees.
That was at the manure farm.
Yeah, it was at the. You can't make this up, man. Besides the reports of him pooping himself, the flies all over him, and now a manure ranch, like he's a parody of himself.
Like you literally don't have to make it up.
You've got options of places that you can rent their land out. You go to the manure ranch. Yeah. Flies.
So I know the question was, should he stop rallying? And the cards are the bouquet, the garden, and the fish. This card right here, right in the middle, which is the focus card, the garden, that's your rally. It's saying a lot of praise and popularity and adulation. So it's almost like he needs that. He needs to feed off of it. You know what I'm saying? So I know the question was, should he stop? This is saying he needs a lot of praise, a lot of adulation, a lot of boot licking, and a very large audience, even if the audience is only 12 people.
Mhm.
Just like his lady that runs around the golf course with the printer printing out good comments on him.
Like the question is moot because should he? Okay, fine, whatever, but he's not going to. Because the Eight of Pentacles and the Two of Swords, there is work to be done, but that work should stop. The Two of Swords is like a blocking of something. Like it needs to. If you want to do something, hold your private $50,000 a plate vents type of thing. That way you can go and still spew your nonsense, but you spewed it to people who paid you instead of people that you have to pay to be there.
Like you want to block something, block him from sharding in his diapers.
But is he going to, should he stop? Yes. The World card and the Tower card. We just did, we're doing a tableau class too, how to read the tarot tableau, if you will. And he had Death in House Tower. That means there's some sort of possible accident, staged or otherwise, but possible accident, possible something that could lead to a very major change, but in a very bad way. So stop poking the bear is what I say. If you only get so many times.
I don't know, man. I don't know. At this point, they're just taking grandpa around on field trips, dude. Like, why are you in Coachella? You have no way of winning California. Why are you there? I mean, like I said, it's like they're taking the old people out of the nursing home. A couple of weeks ago it was the grocery store. Now it's Coachella. Like,
J.D. Vance had a bench that collapsed at one of his rallies. A woman fell back, and he's blaming Kamala for that. It's like, yeah, go ahead.
What should you come cut the bench so the woman falls?
She built them. Kamala Harris was out there building the seating. I mean, come on.
He directed the machine to send the Jewish space lasers down to cut it.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when you build this city on rock and roll, sir? We're going to change gears. We'll circle back around to Trump, but let's go to some other people first. Devin Nunes is kind of in the hot seat here. A bunch of executives have resigned, being forced out, some others say, of Trump Media Company, or what do you call it, Truth Social, that thing that he's the CEO of. They said that they were trying to blow the whistle on Devin Nunes mismanaging the company, including mismanaging funds, giving contracts to foreign people, basically creating a lot of deals that would more so benefit maybe him instead of the company. And so these people are considered whistleblowers at this point because they were trying to say, hey, he's mismanaging Truth Social. Is there anything that will come of this? Is this because, mind you, he's in the seat of power right now. These people said they resigned, but other people are saying they're forced out. So you're trying to blow the whistle. I fired you. And now you don't get to report to, I guess, Trump, who matters, or maybe the shareholders or something like that. So does anything come of this? Any case, any investigation, anything? Or is this just one of them news stories and it'll be over? Mismanaging money, resources, foreign contracts, nepotism, not nepotism, but favoritism.
His stock's under $10. I forget how low it is now.
And now they're blaming it on him, I guess.
Yeah, when it drops below $5 a share, that's usually when they fold.
I mean, you picked it. So.
I only hire the best people.
The best of being horrible.
They're going to look into money that was moved, whether that was into foreign accounts or whatever, or foreign money that came in, money that was moved into something else. So, Trump's fortune is changing with Truth Social here. I think give them 3 months or closing it or filing bankruptcy. But they've blocked access to dark money. That's what's going to be looked at. There's probably a really strong connection to Russia money, like a lot of it. Russian oligarchs, because that's my oligarch card. So legally, yeah, there's going to be some things down the road, but it looks to me like there's maybe some Russian money coming into it.
Is anything going to come of this? Oh, yeah. Legally. A lot of losses, thievery, corruption, and lying about it. And then here with the garden, I don't know if that would be like some sort of board with these two, Tower and Garden, or some sort of grand jury, but there's losses here. Loss, and then lying. This is stealing with the mice. So I don't know if he's like embezzling from.
That's what they were accusing. Basically, they didn't say that word, but basically that's what they were saying.
Money up.
Embezzling, because here it's a sudden loss. The mice is a sudden loss also, but it's a thief, and then lying about it to the public or a large board. And it starts here with the Tower. There's going to be some legal problems for Nunes. And I would not be surprised if they have the evidence for it, because this here shows that the institution stole from the network, and then the network has suffered losses. See what I'm saying? So it looks like embezzling, but
I bet he did it under the direction of Trump, though. If he did something, I can't imagine Nunes acting on his own to do it.
I
mean,
I
didn't know that they were accusing him of embezzling.
Basically, because they're saying he mismanaged funds. Well, they're saying he was mismanaging the business, including company funds and company resources, where he was giving special breaks and not breaks, but deals and contracts to people who were foreign in nature. And so they were basically hinting at he's moving stuff through channels, and it might be coming back to him. They didn't say that part, but why else would you do it?
If it ending with the garden there, it would be a network or a campaign of some sort. But it's being stolen and then lied about. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's those three cards in the middle read like embezzling, even though there was no money cards.
I got money cards. Well, I got the one that you need to have in this situation. The Chariot and the Wheel of Fortune, there is something around him partnering with someone now. Is something going to come of this? Yes, something is coming of this now. I don't know who's looking into this or why they're looking into this, or if they're just being civilly sued or something of that nature. But there is some partners. I think he is going to be a sacrificial lamb type of thing, though, too, because he's a big enough target to aim at without going for Trump or somebody like that. But there's the fool here, which would be him in this case. And I think his primary mistake, other than stealing, is firing those two people. Because if you ask me, they didn't resign. They were forced out. Some say forced out, some say resigned. But here, the Nine of Pentacles, it's all about very large sums of money and things. Maybe taking chunks of money and putting it into a house. That way you can wash it, or something of that nature, to where you take those large sums of money, but you buy things tangible with it, so it's no longer traceable, or doesn't have a dot at the end of it. So there is some moving of some finances there. There, however, again, is a burden around the mistake. The fool acted a little too impulsively. And so there is a burden around that. And with the star, I think he will become the center of attention. And then it's going to be up to him to take down the other big fish. Or do a Paul Manafort and go down with the ship. But it's all going to be centered around his job, Eight of Pentacles, when he was CEO. So it's going to all be centered around the decisions that he made. And there are other people in that company who also hold information, whether they say anything or not, I don't know. But the Seven of Cups, there's a lot more people, 10 of Cups, people in the organization. So we'll see.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was muted, but I was asking, those are the new cards, the little animal ones that you were telling me? Oh, those are nice.
They're cute.
They look cute.
They're cute. They have to do the ugly today, but they're very cute. Well, speaking of ugly, another person in Trump's orbit, Corey Lewandowski. They said he has lost a power struggle with Donald Trump, which means there is a power struggle between him and the person he's supposed to be working for. Remember the last time he got his walking papers because he was stealing money, they say, from the Trump campaign. Now he wants to be in charge again. I think he's either overly ambitious or he just doesn't like to work for people. I don't know. But one of the Trump campaign officials quoted saying he blew himself up, basically, that he was his own means of destruction within the Trump campaign. So is he going to be ousted by the Trump campaign again?
Trillium Tarot was asking about your deck, Johnny.
It's on the same website as the other one.
I'm sorry, what was the question again? Is Corey Lewandowski?
Will he be ousted again by the Trump campaign?
Trump likes him because he's abusive to women.
Birds of a feather.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Cuban has come out and said that Trump was at the Puff Diddy Daddy parties. Like, how you know? Maybe you should stop trying to be a witness. There's
a zillion photos of him and Melania with Diddy.
Because if you were at Epstein's thing, then why weren't you there too? I mean, birds of a feather again.
Wasn't he ousted also for sexual harassment and all this other stuff too before?
I don't know. I haven't heard the money part, but probably.
They wasn't ousted for sexual harassment. He was abusive with his wife, and then he had an affair with what's her face? Help me in the chat. That worked in the campaign. Can't think of her name. I can see her face.
Oh, the one
that was at his trial in New York. Hope Hicks. And then he supposedly got together with the dog killer up in the Dakotas, Christy Nome.
Oh, he's a whore.
He gets around. Gets around.
I get a yes. He's going to get ousted before he causes him more legal troubles. But at this point, I mean, Trump and his campaign mostly Trump, is breaking so many laws. What's another 500 laws to break at this point? I mean, go big or go home, like in Vegas, man. Like, just go all the way. But I get a yes.
Yeah, he's going to get separated. There's going to be some legal problems over campaign finance. There's something hidden that's going to get highlighted later. But yeah, there's an investigation into the campaign finances, and he's gonna get ousted, but they're gonna bring him back probably to try to make him a scapegoat on that. There's unfinished work with him.
Yes, but I get that same thing too. The Four of Swords is a retreat. So it's almost as if wasn't Manafort, didn't he lead the campaign and come back to, or was it Bannon? One of them left and came back. I think it was Bannon.
They brought him back after he got out of jail.
Because I get Queen of Swords and Five of Cups. Yes, there is going to be some regret. This also may center around something legal or a woman of some sort too, but there may be some sort of legal complication there too. Eight of Swords and the Hierophant. He is not well received. There may be a bit too rigid in the way he tries to operate things. The Empress, I wonder if he has ever had a conversation with crazy Haitians eating cat lady. What was her name? The ones who told Trump to go on the debate stage and say all that stupid stuff.
Laura Loomer.
Loomer. I wonder if they ever had a conversation.
But
yes.
I just saw pictures of her before and after surgery, facial surgery. It's like, oh my God, she has ruined herself.
She's a little shop of horror. The Four of Swords and the Page of Swords. So yes, there will be some sort of retreat, but I think it's more of a reprieve. He'll come back and do something. Mind you, it may have happened already because you ain't got but 12 days or something. So we're almost there. Lord Jesus, we're this close, y'all.
We're this close. And then we got to deal with it into December to shut him up.
I'm just waiting for the afterwards, because it's going to be just brace yourselves. Don't start panicking. He's going to try to steal it. He's not going to be successful. It's 2020 2.0 minus an insurrection. But it's
and additional charges to follow.
It's going to be the same crap, using states and fake electors and trying to block votes. And it's just keep it calm. I'm telling you all ahead of time.
We've seen it before.
We've seen it before. He's already broadcasting what he's going to do. JD Vance is completely on board. Just get out your bingo cards and start writing stuff down so we can try to figure out how many people are going to be indicted after this and how many more charges Trump is going to end up with after this.
My next question, Becca, if you want to sit these out, the next two. Elon, will he need a lawyer after the election? And the reason I ask is because those who tend to orbit Planet Trump need a lawyer at some point for whatever reason.
What he said times 100. What he said times 100. How people don't see this and keep sucking up to him, I don't get it. I don't get
it either. It's like all of your dirt you hide under the rug, and then when you start orbiting him, you float up and it floats with you. And then all of a sudden, it's, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, investigate that. Oh, investigate this.
You know who I'm surprised still hasn't gotten indicted, but she's been penalized by the courts or sanctioned quite a few times, Alina Habba, because the other lawyer that he had that was always on Newsmax, she was indicted in one of the states she was trying to overturn. Was it Arizona or
I think she was indicted in
not Jenna Ellis. Not Jenna Ellis. There was another lawyer.
She's been indicted twice.
Alina Habba and that other girl were his two prime lawyers just recently. And then the other one got indicted in Arizona.
Sidney Powell? Oh, more recently.
She's younger. She's got brown hair. She's always on OAN and Newsmax. I can't remember her name. But she's been indicted. It's like, I'm surprised Alina Habba is the only one so far that has not been indicted yet. There's still time. There's still time. Oh, yeah, there was that whole thing right there, too, with the whole register to vote website that Laura Bob. Yep, that was a Christina Bob. Laura Bob, one of those. It was a Bob. Yeah.
Christina Bob.
Mm-hmm. She's been indicted in Arizona. It's like,
It's like the people, like the fool in Florida said, "Oh, y'all should have registered already. Won't give people who just been through a hurricane extra time to go out and register. What if half of them are Republican? You still don't care? Okay."
He's definitely getting investigated. He's definitely getting an indictment, and it's smug Elon, right, and loser Trump, working together, and justice is going to be on them. There's betrayals going on that he's doing on his platform, on his social media platform, and that's what I'm getting will get investigated. His interviewing Trump on there and stuff was an endorsement. But yeah, for I'm getting it has to do with Twitter. Things he's done on Twitter, because I have all these communication cards. And he's bribing for a position in the cabinet or whatever. Pay to play.
Can you imagine that ketamine-induced idiot? Just, I mean, whatever.
Will he need a lawyer? He needs one now. I don't know if ET has phoned home and told him so there at SpaceX, but the Two of Cups is a business agreement of some sort. The Nine of Wands is because you're under strain. This is not because you are short-staffed there at the X and the Twitters. It's because you have something going on where there's a possible judgment against you. Will he need lawyers? Yes, he will. The Five of Pentacles, though, if I were reading for you, I would care. But beware that this is going to cost a lot of money, like a whole bunch. So that means you're going to need them for a while. Something is going on to where you need them for a long while. The Nine of Wands is a card of tenacity. It tells you to hold on because you have a long ways to go. So don't faint in the middle. Listen, Donald Trump has been Donald Trump for a long time. Even if you didn't know him, like I was talking about him yesterday, I didn't know who he was. I'm from Oklahoma. I'm not from New York or the Northeast. I didn't know who Trump was. All I knew is what I saw on TV. But you don't even need to know that part. The last 6 years have shown you stay away from him as far as you possibly can. Not just downwind, but stay away from him altogether forever. And the closer you get to him, the more lawyers you tend to hire.
They're saying in the news he's going to end up like Michael Lindell.
Yeah. Under a bridge, sleeping on a pillow.
I have no sympathy or no empathy for any of them at all. And that goes down to the common, normal person Trump supporter. I don't. I don't. I can't.
To these people?
Yes. I just can't make sense of it, Johnny. This man just done ruined people's whole lives, their whole lives. And they're still like, nope, it wasn't him. It was the deep state. It was Kamala Harris. It was Joe Biden. It was, Big Bird on Sesame Street. Nowhere do they put the blame at his feet.
Who stranded me in the desert.
Yeah, no.
You say so. So I have one more. Speaking of that, though, Elon apparently did a interview where he said if Harris gets elected, he's effed. Elon wants a lot of money from the federal government, a whole lot. He wants $900 million to be around-about-ish for his different projects in his companies. Because mind you, he ain't the only one where it takes government money for their companies. All the professional sports stadiums take money from. So everybody does it.
We subsidize. Everybody. We subsidize Tesla.
Yeah. And he wants more money, and whatever alphabet organization denied him, SEC, FEC, one of them denied. So he says if Kamala gets elected, then he is effed because he needs things from Trump specifically, which is
to lose contracts.
Which is why he's jumping up and down at his rallies and all this stupid foolishness. So, financially speaking, under Harris, how will Elon fare? Will he do all right? Because, I mean, mind you, he's still got a lot of resources. It ain't like he's broke.
No, it's not. But in a perfect world, I would love to see the government cancel all his contracts, take away his clearance, and deport the SOB back to South Africa. Bye
Because
bye.
only so many times you can afford to send a rocket into space just for testing.
Yeah.
And
Does
so
he
if
have dual
you're
citizenship or
not going to do that.
Yeah, I think so. And here and Canada as well.
Africa?
But he's
took away his citizenship.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even bat an eye.
He's betrayed our country. Yeah.
He's at this point, he's a foreign activist.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, JC. JC is pointing out that he wants to mine in our national parks, and not to forget that the reason that he's a bazillionaire is because his family got it from emerald mines. That's where they came to the money, and that's
Raping and pillaging the land.
Yep.
You got the poverty card in the exact same spot. You might want to calm down on the rocket testing, Tony Stark Jr.
His image is going to be severely tarnished. Investors, there's like thievery going on in his investments. A lot of pay to play. His finances get constricted, so they're not growing. They're not shrinking, but they're not growing. They're tied up. And then he's got indictments, and then he's burdened. So he's gonna go through some things here. He's gonna go through the tower. A lot of illumination on foreign funding. A lot of money. So all that money they gave him to help him buy Twitter and stuff. It's not his money. He had investors, and there's a lot of covering up of that. So,
well, there was that reporting that came out a couple months ago. It was Saudi Arabia, China, and a couple of other places, adversaries to the U.S. And he's turned it into a Nazi hellscape over there. Like,
I get him personally, financially, he's fine. The Nine of Pentacles is a card of resource independence, financial stability, that type of thing. But there's the Three of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, to where this may be one of those things he tries to pass off. Because mind you, what he did with Twitter was take from Tesla and give to Twitter type. So he can continue to do that type of thing, because their Three of Swords is betrayal, Five of Pentacles is poverty. So he can try to plug up one hole by taking from another thing. Robbing Peter to pay Paul type thing, but you still need to put that back. And more and more with electric cars catching on fire and hurricanes and driving off of cliffs and things of that nature. This is not necessarily, not to crap all over electric cars, but this doesn't endear people to electric cars, especially Teslas. So especially when the person at the top is not one you want to buy from, just get you a Prius or something. So I think his businesses suffer a little bit because he is moving stuff around, again, robbing Peter to pay Paul, but he himself will be
like Trump with a moderator on his business.
And to your point, Johnny, it wasn't too long ago that they held a meeting with the board because they wanted to oust Elon because he was making them suffer in sales because he's such a raging a-hole. He's just as bad as Trump.
Look at Chick-fil-A and all these, the person at the top whose finances are secure can say and do whatever they want, but it affects everybody underneath them. And that's the part that they don't ever seem to get. You can go out to the Trump rallies all you want to, as long as you're not the head of my company, and then people are now angry for it.
And then also to your point, Johnny, he had done an interview and he was asked why all these advertisers were pulling out of vax, and he told them, go F yourselves. There, I'll say it again, go F yourselves. And then he turned around just last month and tried to sue advertisers for boycotting him. And it's like, hold on, you told them to go F themselves. And now you're right because you're losing money? Like, I mean, whatever.
We looked at this last week, but a new article has come out too that has drawn it even closer to being a reality. Mike Johnson is increasingly now on the chopping block because there are now apparently not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 groups of Republicans that are saying, why are we going to sit through this again?
I told you it was coming. You can smell it in the air, Johnny. You can smell it in the air. This whole Moses, I parted the Red Sea. Yeah, dumbass. Moses also wandered around the desert for 40 years.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Moses, Mike, JD Vance, Trump, they all smell.
So the blood is in the water and the sharks are circling. Is this it for Johnson as minority? Cross your fingers, get out and vote. Minority speaker.
Take the electrocution, Mike. It's less painful than the sharks. I take an electrocution.
Oh, there's the speaker card. Okay. I'll take it then. Oh, speaker speaking. Okay. They are in such shambles.
Can I please go? Because I got to go feed my kid before she starts screaming at me again. People are not happy with him. There's a lot of criticism, and you're going to get sacrificed. There's happiness and pleasure. There's a burden there, and there's the criticism. Broom and whip. They want to sweep him out of the position that he's in. So that's what I'm getting. I get that he will not be the leader of the Republican Party in Congress. I'll be right back.
I would say by Christmas, they're going to oust him. That there's a new leader coming in. This has a Christmas wreath on it, so I'm going to say someone new they put up higher by Christmas. It's going to be somebody that'll be adversarial with Kamala.
That's what I get. Someone who's very conservative, like Billy White type conservative, old school conservative type thing with the Hierophant there. Very conformist, very, very Republican GOP, Mitch McConnell hatched from the same egg type of thing. There's a man here, older white man, but there's a speakership there with the Page of Wands and the 8 of Wands and the Ace of Wands and the 2 of Wands means that they're hatching a plan to find something new, some new inspiration.
I'm really surprised they have not pushed the make Trump Speaker of the House, because then he would be there to help certify his own election.
I edited a couple thoughts. I'll leave them to myself. Let's see. Okay. We looked at this too, but I want to look at it again. Not last week, but at some point. If Donald Trump loses, I should say when. Speak it as if it is. When Donald Trump loses, what happens to Lara Trump? She is in a position that she does not need to be in. So what happens to her? Do they get rid of him and her then? Because mind you, the GOP is signaling that they're trying to take their party back after Donald Trump.
After all their money's disappeared.
Because you
It's
have to
flushed down the golden toilet. They flushed all your money away.
If he holds power over the cult still, which means you have to go and try to inseminate something in their brain.
She has that singing career to fall back on, Melinda says. that's not going to pay the mortgage on her house.
I mean, if you put, a burning toaster in a garbage can and shake it up, it probably sounds the same.
Take a couple of alley cats screaming and screeching, and they probably would sound better.
What happens to Lara? Wonder if she's got a book coming. They all do. Oof. 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 Uh-oh, okay. Brace for impact, lady. That's what I say. It's like I went through and I picked all the bad cards and put them in.
She and Eric are going to do something together that's shady as all get out. Might even be related. He's not supposed to do charity things, and she ripped off a dog charity, if I remember right. It might be charity related of some kind, using celebrity endorsement kind of crap. It's going to cause problems. She eventually is going to be going through a lot of crap over her trying to fight for the White House and all of that, and not accepting the election results and manipulating things. She's eventually going to go through some stuff, but there's something she and Eric are going to do together before that. Something they've done in the past. So something they've done together in the past. It's not successful, whatever it is. There's no money in it, Lara. Lara?
Maybe they'll write a parenting book or something. I get she's got some kind of book idea or something.
Yeah, I would probably buy that just to see what kind of shit they would say. A parenting book by one of the drums.
Chapter 3, How to Eat Paste. There is some chaos. The Knight of Swords, her collaboration, or that in which she's in business with right now with the Three of Pentacles, which would be RNC or something of that nature. That is going to be called into question. She is either going to be allowed to step away or forced out, I think. Because the Moon card is a plot. So somebody's already counting. Mind you, there are people who are counting on what do we do when Donald Trump loses? Not if. When Donald Trump loses. Because they see where this is going. You alienate everybody. The only way you can win is to cheat, and we already see that coming. So they're plotting already what to do, how to restructure, which is a smart thing, I will say. And then it ends in the Ten of Swords in the Tower. And so
Daya ended with the tower too. She's going through some stuff.
Going a lot. For those in chat who are learning tarot, next week we will be covering the Tower card. So I'll give you a little preview lesson here today. The Tower covers a couple things. Ego and hubris is one of them, Lara, American Idol. And one of them is when you start something and you build it on a foundation that is false in the first place. Or when you build it upon a foundation that is, as Jen says, ego is not bad, egotistical is. When you build it upon that foundation, when it's all about me, or I'm trying to gain something, or I'm trying to steal something, in the case of RNC money, possibly, allegedly, then you can't help but fall and crumble, because the Tower is something that was built to sneak into heaven. That's what the card is about. And so that plan was false from the start, and it can't help but end in a bad way. Ten of Swords is already ruined. Tower is ruined as well. So you got both of them as how it ends. Everything is going to hurt.
Jennifer in the chat says the only way she'd be successful singing is people paying her to stop. It's true.
Billy Vanilli 2.0, she can just sing. Mind you, Jennifer Lopez did the same thing. There's quite a few of her, not quite a few, I shouldn't exaggerate, but there's a few of her songs that is actually somebody else's voice completely. So it still happens. But the chaos with the Knight of Swords and the Tower and the Ten of Swords, every aspect of your life is going to have a shaking moment. Every aspect. Orbit of Trump.
I want to look further out because we both ended on the Tower. I want to look further out. Will she ever have any success again?
What's that then? Ken of Wands flew out.
That's not looking good. Burden.
Let's see. Okay. We start okay. Then okay, well. If I were reading for her, I would try to spin this to be a little cuter than it is. As I was telling the people in the class, some cards are just bad, but you don't want to leave the person you're reading for on a bad note. So you attach a little something like the Tower. You can pick up the rubble and start again. You know, you failed this time because you started off bad, blah, blah, blah. But this is like, she has to go through this. It's almost as if she's going to a point of no return. And so with the Five of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Swords, she's going to be worried about the future because it's going to look a lot different than it does now. But it also something that her mentality, which is why you should be careful of the thoughts, her mentality is going to shape her future too, because her situations are going to look very bleak with the Five of Pentacles, to where you may walk past your very blessing because you're so focused on your own plate. And so Four of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, she's going to have to try to figure this out, and I don't think she can because her mentality is all loopy. She's going to have to deal with this one. It's orbit Trump. This is what happens. The closer you get to this fool, this is what happens. So any success, I'm sure, maybe, you know, whatever years from now, but right now,
I guess she's going to have a successful audit. Because they get her fortunes have changed. It's like there's somebody that's going to look into all the cover-ups and the secrets and everything. This is her downfall. This is like coming back to haunt her. And she and Eric are going to be just like Trump, losers in this. It's, you know, injustice coming. So A successful audit. I'll give her that. She's going to have a successful audit.
You go ahead. One more outside of the Trump sphere, and then we'll dive back into his nonsense for a second. Rumor has it. This is rumor. Now, I've seen the article, but again, it's still just rumor. That Alina Habba, when she was in the sphere of Donald Trump, was rumored to be modeling herself after Melania Trump. Same hair color, same hairstyle, same clothing style, all that kind of stuff. Rumor has it that that's what was going on, is that she was supposed to look like Melania to those that mattered. Was that true? Even once?
Great.
Why you want to look like that, I don't know. But why you want to travel around with Donald Trump, I don't know.
This great picture, I don't know if I saved it, where it showed like before and after Guilfoyle and Lara Loomer and Lara Trump and Alina Habba, and they all seem to have visited the same plastic surgeon, the same lip look. It was hysterical because they're all like trying to look alike. I might not have saved it. Oh, and Tiffany Trump is supposedly pregnant too.
Why anybody would want to look like Melania is beyond me, but
Melania doesn't want to look like Melania.
No.
She's got more Tonka truck in her face than anybody else.
You know?
You don't stay out the plastic factory.
Mm-mm.
I must not have saved it. I thought I did.
I don't get Melania. I get a daughter.
Me too.
Like Ivanka.
Uh-huh. Not the other one. The other one's too old. He wanted the younger one that's tall, like a model. Ew. But okay. I mean, you talk about cringe. That
Wait, she sunk a lot of money going under the knife. She sunk a lot of money into that. She's just trying to look like a celebrity. It's all ego based. I don't get Melania.
Why doesn't he just get himself like?
Nope. Could be Ivanka. Could be Ivanka, like trying to look like her. What was that, Becca?
So, I mean, at this point, he might as well just invest a bunch of money to get a bunch of Stepford wives, like, you know, not real people, like robots. I'm sure Elon Musk.
Just buy a toilet plunger and you can get the same look on your lips. They have like.
Well, I mean, out of all the ones that have had plastic surgery, I would say Ivanka and Melania have been the most tasteful. Kimberly just went. She looks like
her mouth is just big.
She looks like a catfish, like a straight up
Pennywise or something.
She does look like a catfish. Like,
you know?
Stick the hook in over here.
and then with those huge fake eyelashes she wears, you know, her eyes aren't big anyways. And when those eyelashes make her eyes look smaller, the hair, it's like you look like a Temu version of Elvira. Like,
and she wasn't ugly to begin with. It's like, what did you do all that for? But I mean, it's if you want to get plastered, you go right ahead. I mean,
their makeup, even Christy Nome has tried to go for that look. It's like even their makeup and how they apply it, it's all the same look. It's like
so heavy. It's so heavy, and it ages you. I'm 46 years old. When I was younger, I could get away with the heavy smoky eye and the dark lips. I can't do that at my age because I'm not trying to look like I'm 75 years old, trying to look like a 20-year-old. You know, it's like, I mean, it's just they look like they're going clubbing at 20 years old. You know,
they were going to Mar-a-Lago.
Instead of Max Factor doing their makeup, they look like Max Tractor did, like they got dragged through it.
You know what they need? They need to get themselves a bunch of transgender drag queen friends and fire
their makeup.
Yeah, because they look a hot mess. They look a hot mess, all of them.
Like the woman who tried to look like the Barbie and overdid, like just kept doing surgeries.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, stop! You got a problem.
I get no. 10 of Swords is no. However, the last card is Empress, so she does want to look like some mother somewhere. There's a woman here with children, and she is younger of some sort. So not Melania, but one of them other ones. I really can't. Okay. I got two questions related to Trump, DeSantis, and the hurricane. Where did this FEMA talk come from? Did it come from Trump, where they were saying FEMA is stealing the money and giving it to foreign people and all? Did that come? Who did that come from?
Actually, what Trump did himself took money from FEMA and put it into other stuff. So it started with Trump.
I just had an interesting conversation with one of my coworkers the other day, who has never outwardly said that she's a Trump supporter, but she sure as hell talks like one. And she was trying to give me all this crap last week about, well, everybody's pissed off at Kamala because she ain't doing nothing. I was like, she's the vice president. She doesn't have any executive power to do anything. No, but that's not. Stop right there. You have the Google machine right now. I know you do. Look up the Constitution and look up what the powers of a vice president are, because she cannot do anything. So
and when she called DeSantis, what did he do?
He said, I don't want to talk to her because I don't want to make this political, or something along those lines. So take your argument and shove it. You know, like
two of the most powerful people on earth are calling you because your state is underwater almost. You answered that phone call. You need hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions of dollars to rebuild all of these areas. Those are the people you need to talk to. I don't care if it's political or not. Just what's the child name? It was in Chris Christie. When Sandy came through, Obama and him looked like best friends because they both had a job to do. Yeah. And so this has nothing to do with political lines at that point. Now you got stuff to rebuild.
Taking care of your people
that you have to be responsible for. And maybe you don't care because you don't have another election to win, but still.
And here's the other part, Johnny, that I don't understand. Did you hear that radio interview with the man that called in about his father-in-law?
Yes. Yeah. That's one of my questions too.
So you want to know who originated the FEMA lie?
Like, who gave that to him? Is that just all him, or is that campaign staff, or
who came up with the idea? Okay.
Yes, to blame FEMA right now is not a good time.
Because he's going to rag on every single thing between now and the election. Anything that comes up, he's going to rag on it. Because he has concepts of plans. He doesn't have any real tangible things to talk about. The only tangible things he talks about is, rounding up busloads of people and taking them out of our country. It's his only solid plan he has. And most Americans don't want that plan.
I get a man that has knowledge of the gifts and a man that's a narcissist. Man, knowledge, gifts. A narcissist. But there's stuff too that he's trying to keep hush hush as well. So I can't give you a name. I can't say, oh, this is Trump or this is Vance or that's all I can tell you based on these cards. But I get that it originated with the man.
I get a man too, but I get there's like 3 people behind returning to this that they do over and over, which is trying to find talking points to isolate Biden's effectiveness, and anything to get emotional over Kamala and try to affect the votes. There's a man that may be a donor or in on the campaign that may be coming up with some of this. There's a younger person, so it could be, Don Jr. And ultimately, Trump. He's the one saying it all. He's the one that speaks the words.
And to think 2 hurricanes within 2 weeks back to back. And this genius and his bunch of sycophantic Nazi fascist a-holes that helped author Project 2025 want to do away with the National Weather Service and FEMA. So have fun cleaning it up yourselves, people. And for those of you in Florida that can't get insurance, tough luck. Build some houses out of palm fronds or something,
I get it's part of the overall plan. So it's not just, so it's something they're saying collectively. So it's FEMA, it's the emergency services, it's the whole thing with if you take money from FEMA, they're going to come take your house, like the fool on the radio said, or his father-in-law said. So it's a whole thing, the foreign this, and they're bussing people in. It's all of that is sort of smashed in together. Yeah, so it's coming from basically that whole camp of people with the 10 of Cups. That's what I get. 2 of Cups is just, here's an agreement on what to say. And so he goes out and he says it, or tweets it, or whatever you call it.
Whatever the lie is.
So what you're saying is that they have a team meeting, they come up with lies, and then they're like, say this, and he's like, okay.
Because
they have got
to tell the truth. What they have to do right now is create the lie and then make you defend it.
Yeah.
They like must lay out 20 zillion lies to create, and their followers believe them, but they just keep spewing so many lies that you never recover from the previous ones. It just keeps
of lies and misinformation. Yeah. That's all it is.
Remember, Democrats are the one who sent the hurricanes in the first place, because they couldn't have possibly been real because the hurricane had tornadoes in it. Well, they all have tornadoes in it if you just Google such a thing.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Human beings are sort of creating stronger hurricanes, but not hurricanes. Hurricanes are created when the earth spins, but hot water makes them more intense. Where's the hot water coming from? Anyway, DeSantis says he doesn't want to take phone calls from the vice president of the United States, future president of the United States. He's going back and forth with funding for Biden. Johnson says that can wait till we get back.
FEMA to increase FEMA funds. Yeah, it's not that important. We can wait.
Wait till after the election.
That's because your house isn't underwater and you don't have any power, food, or water.
If this had happened to Louisiana, you better bet Mike Johnson would have been in there doing something. The reason that they're doing
this is let people suffer, as we have seen every time Republicans are anywhere near the levers of power. Like 2 parents that are fighting over their kids during a divorce. Make the kids suffer so that they'll side with me. That's exactly what they're doing. Let those people suffer, and then they'll side with us. It's like
they're so effective. I mean, look at Coachella, where they're left in the desert at 10 o'clock at night, and they're blaming somebody that wasn't even responsible. They've got them trained well to, they must have wanted a riot. here we go again. Y'all gonna riot in the desert?
On a cow manure farm of all. Start slinging shit. I mean, come on now. Like, I can't. We just...
Pardon me, but the shittiest president that has ever existed housed the rally at a manure farm.
Uh-huh. Yep. You can't make it up, Johnny. You can't.
You can. This is one of them things that I think God writes in the stars so that we have something to laugh at. Because if you don't laugh, you cry. So you might as well find something to laugh at.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God!
Idiots on the manure farm.
The same week, he's allegedly heard on stage audibly manure farming himself on the stage. Oh my God. Anyway, the last one, or this question here, was with Johnson, with DeSantis, with Trump and his lies. Because mind you, this is hurting red districts too.
Uh-huh.
Does this change anyone's mind as far as voting for Donald Trump? Or are they still full steam ahead? No. Okay. Somebody might be.
Some of your voting places are probably underwater.
It's like them boats at his rally. I don't get. Time after time after time after time after time after time. These are not the first people he stranded somewhere. These are not the first people who held a rally and their boat sank or their bus crashed. Stay away from this man. What the heck is wrong with you people?
I think my favorite was the Trump Navy that sank.
Because they created their own wave and drowned themselves. Or I shouldn't say drowned, sunk themselves.
Karma. Instant karma.
The blue water wave.
Not a life jacket in sight.
As I pulled the card with the whale on it. The whale and the death. And the shark. This is the kind of things I'm thinking. Oh, Lord. And the ducks. Okay.
Norm is saying Congress doesn't return until November 12th. So yeah, let FEMA do it. That's a month away. Wow. Let these people suffer for a month. F them. F them.
I went without power for 2 days in Oklahoma. And there was no snow and rain outside. There was, I think, a thunderstorm and it hit something, blew up something. I don't know. The power was out for 2 days. I was not born in colonial America, so I don't know how to function without something talking, a telephone, a computer, or something. I'm not a read a book kind of person. I wish I was.
I was gonna say, just make sure my Kindle's powered up and I'm good to go. This thing has lasted me like weeks without charging, so I'll be fine.
And it was also no air conditioning either. That's first world problems. Right now we're dealing with aftermath of a hurricane. No running water, no clean water, no food because you have no grocery stores. You have no roads to get to any grocery store.
And there's houses and on the streets in Florida because it's Jurassic Park over there. Like
basically, and wait a month. A month without anything. Do you know how long that is?
J-Lo was saying Biden just released $600 million to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no sewer. I mean, just that's a bit too rough for me. I'm down with camping, but not like that. Like no.
I get a lot of them will still defend the bully, but some of them are waking up a little bit and starting to wonder about how things are structured, and people working together to bring relief to their states. And hearing the rhetoric and seeing the betrayal. So I do get a lot of them are siding with Dems. That's a yes card. And feeling left out in the cold by Trump the loser and starting to see him differently. So, you know, you want to be left out in the desert somewhere, go with Trump. Be very smelly on that manure farm when the heat's up in the middle of the day, and not to mention his own diapers.
So I asked, will this help him? Got the letter, the cross, and the dog. He will suffer at the ballot even more. And not just him, but anybody that's friendly and loyal or looks to be anything like him, a bootlicker to him. They will suffer in the polls or on the ballot. They will suffer. So forget the Trump Vance ticket. Is your mayor a Trumper? He's going to suffer. Is your governor a Trumper? They're going to suffer. Is your school board a Trumper? They're going to suffer. Is the guy that's running for local sheriff a Trumper? They're going to suffer. Do you see what I'm saying? The ballot suffers for the loyalist.
We already started seeing here in Illinois, the state legislature, which was very Republican, has shifted. And I think my feeling is we're going to see a lot of state legislatures shift and start flipping blue.
His grand tableau says a lot of losses. So not just, I know when we talk elections, people just tend to think federally. No, that affects your local and county areas too.
I get the Wheel of Fortune, the Two of Swords. So yes, there are some people who are now starting to doubt into question. There are some, like the man who said his father-in-law is saying that if you take FEMA money, they're going to come take your house.
Yeah, and he's convinced them, Johnny, that all they're going to get is $750, and then they're going to come and take your stuff.
Now, I will say, in my experience going through Hurricane Michael, we didn't have any damage, but I worked in a place that saw a whole bunch of people on the recovery. FEMA is not the greatest in the world. It's kind of like the VA. There's a lot of broken things in it, but it's still there, at least. And to then try to tear down what's already there is not helpful. I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican that you are targeting, but your people suffer too. And I understand the whole, if you suffer and then you buy my lie that you're suffering because of them, then you'll vote for me. But they're not buying the lie part because their governor is Republican and the House Speaker is Republican. And those are the two people who are now keeping them for money if they go and look at it. Joe Biden said, here's a whole pile of money, even though $600 million is not all that they need, but here's a pile of money. And then DeSantis refuses to talk to this person and that person. And there's some that believe that too, that he shouldn't talk to her because she's trying to make it political. I don't care what you're trying to make it. My state is in an area of disaster right now. You're going to send me some money or not. That's my thing.
Regardless of what party
change.
You are, because your job as the governor is to be responsible for the people in your state. That's your job. You are there to serve them, not the other way around. And that's the problem with these elected people, is that they forgot that they're there to do the people's work. They think the people are there to do their work. That's where it got.
He can take what he wants, just like he did with COVID money.
Yes, sir.
But there are some who change. The word of warning is the 10 of cups. The loyalty is no longer there. Thank you, Orchid. They're no longer there because they look out in the street. You're their governor. They have no house. And they can look on the Google, even they can look somewhere near Fox News. Mind you, Fox News corrected who was it, Donald Trump, when he said Kamala wasn't there, and they were like, no, she was, and this, and no, she. They heard it firsthand from their own news source that the president and the vice president are actually trying to help Florida, and then you are the ones that are standing in the way. You kill your own loyalty that way.
I was just going to say, Johnny, what is it with these conspiracy theorists that always ends up in them harming the people that believe them? Because nobody here, and including those in the chat, and a million more Americans look at them and go, have you lost your minds? We're not falling for it. You're not gaslighting us. We know how reality works. You know, we're not over there on Earth too. Marjorie Taylor Greene telling people to drink raw milk. Have fun with that. Donald Trump telling people to ingest bleach. Have fun with that. Don't get help from FEMA. Have fun with that. Like, you're hurting your own people. You're not gaslighting everybody else. You're only
you're hurting the ones that are stupid enough to listen to you.
The ones that you've already gaslit, you know. And it's like, I hate to say this, but like with all cults end up with a bunch of people unalived, and it's because of stuff like this, you know,
dead because of the leader.
Because
of you following someone who said do this, not that. Okay, well, Donald Trump has denied that he sent COVID supplies to Russia. He has denied that he had conversations with Russia. And then Russia said, yeah, he sent them.
Which, for my post asking for questions, and everybody thought I was posting that I had COVID, it was a traitor test. If you look at the meme, it was a traitor test because he sent COVID tests to Putin.
And just a reminder, we couldn't get the tests, and he didn't want to send out tests because he didn't want the numbers to go up. Remember? Well, if we don't test, the numbers won't change. That doesn't change the reality that people are still being infected. Tapar el sol con un dedo. Just because you don't want to see the truth and you're blinding yourself to it doesn't mean the rest of us can't see it. You know, like.
And what state was it? Like Kentucky, Alabama, one of those southern states where they had a bunch of supplies and Jared Kushner basically stole them.
Yeah, he said, no, that's ours.
That's my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No, in the blue states, he was
taxpayer money.
Like Illinois, which is blue governor, New York. They made them suffer. The ones that needed, had higher populations and needed help. He made them suffer.
Yeah, Deb, we were just talking about that in the app and before the show. The cruise ship that he wouldn't let dock because there was an outbreak. So he was just going to he was going to leave them stranded in the ocean because he didn't want the numbers to go. Yeah, just let them die on the boat. Yeah.
I didn't have a question on that. I just thought I'd mention that.
about Spanky sending his BFF.
About him actually sending, and then Russia saying, yeah, he did. And then he's saying, no, I didn't. And Russia said, yeah, you did.
It got Traitor Trump trending again. I want to ask again. We asked this a couple of years ago. Will Trump ever be charged with treason? Has anything shifted with that now that we have Jack Smith in there? Will Trump ever be flat out charged, not with sedition, but treason?
If you give it 5 years, maybe. There is the potential. I got all of the cards that I pulled 4 cards, and these are all cards that hang in the balance, if you will. The Temperance card is about slow and moderation, calm. Nothing is moving. Everything is moving at sort of a snail's pace, so nothing is moving quickly. The Hangman is about enlightenment, but it's also stalled, so nothing is moving quickly there. The Chariot card is a card that is quick. However, you have to pull things together first before it moves, so nothing is moving yet. The Seven of Wands is defending or standing guard, but nothing is moving yet. So everything right now is like contingent upon something else. And so will he ever be? I don't see it, but I don't see it yet. There's like something else that would have to happen first.
Mine is saying, I got the book, The Mice and the Anchor. It'll be over the stolen classified stuff. However, this is the status quo. but this is also a positive card. I would venture to say yes, but not until posthumously, meaning once he's checked out, maybe in a few years, they'll determine, yeah, by the way, that guy did this, that, and that, but it's over stolen classified material.
Yeah, I get it's something that he sold, manipulated and sold, that he gets trapped in. And I also get something voice recordings or memos or something that's directly from him that brings down treason charges on him. So it's over something he sold and may have to do with our security. So yeah,
all of
could
those
be the
conversations
classified
with
document.
Russia.
What's that, Johnny?
Said all those conversations with Russia, they weren't talking about the weather.
Yeah.
But speaking of conversations, so sometimes I hate to read on his health because it feels like I'm not wishing, but you know, when you read on his health in particularly, you tend to see the worst because the worst is there, but you also may be a little biased because how is somebody that old and has no problems type of thing? But you see what you see. And what I want to know is he in a cognitive decline? Not the rest of him. Just his mental well-being. Him slurring all his words, mixing up all the names. Or is he just tired and exhausted because he has to try this time?
I forgot what the word was he was trying to say the other day and couldn't get it out.
Donald. Is he in a cognitive decline? I mean,
I get it's the pill use. Pills, an imbalance of pills that he's doing routinely. The addiction issue has grown. So if he is, it's induced by his Adderall snorting. Right. What you getting, Becca?
I pulled a box spread and I made it the tree, the focus card, because the tree covers all aspects of health. But I went ahead and asked for his mental health. He shows up. He presents on the bottom here. Paranoid. Doesn't trust anybody. Very, very ill. Chatter in his mind that's almost like that he imagines. Because he can't tell. It's the moon. It's like, but the moon in the Lenny's is not the moon in tarot. It's about your imagination, your feelings, that sort of thing. But it's he's making stuff up. He's delusional. He's making stuff up. He's also possibly on medication. But the thing is, I don't see a mental health professional around him to talk to him about or to talk with. I see a mental health, a doctor of some sort. This would be a doctor, but it's cut off here. So he's not seeing a doctor per se for dementia or Alzheimer's or anything like that. And with the birds here, he's not talking. And then on the corners, dog, birds, scythe, and man. He is not speaking to a professional, and none of his aides or his family is speaking to a professional either about his decline. It's not good. He's sick. He's He's the
They,
type of
they
person.
think he went to a gastrointestinal guy the other day, but
No, I was asking specifically about mental health.
Yeah.
His cognitive health. This is not his physical body.
Well, he talks out his ass, so that's kind of his mental health.
Yeah, I mean, considering that his ass is glued to his face, you know, but along with paranoid, he doesn't trust anybody. He has trouble also with speaking. What he's thinking and speaking, it doesn't come out right here. His results of what he's trying to do or what he's trying to say, what he's trying to understand. No, it doesn't. It's not working for him. But there's also like, there's also something here with his cognitive state that's affecting his smell and his taste. I don't know.
He affects our smell.
I don't know what that is, but I would venture to say, because the coffin presents here and it's close to him, I would venture to say that when Donald Trump takes a trip,
shakes his mortal coil.
When he dies, we can say that on this channel over here.
When the darkness comes to claim him, I will not be surprised if he's bedridden, cannot speak, like a vegetable, like one of those sorts of people with that level of Alzheimer's where you're completely just, and it's, again, this is not a physical health, so don't even talk about COVID or anything like that. This has nothing to do with it. What I'm saying is that I would not be surprised based on this spread that when he checks out to go for a dirt nap or gets unalived, he will have lost his ability to speak. He will not recognize anyone around him. He'll just be a vegetable. That's what I'm getting from these cards. So
we did a tableau class on Saturday, and it was like Death, Sun, Empress, something and something. There is a woman around him, because this didn't really answer what I was asking, but I kept it anyway. A woman around him, Lover's card, Ace of Cups, that has some sort of health scare or something of that nature, to where it shakes her foundation as well, because Death was in House Tower. So, and she was in House Sun, so there may be a recovery there. But thank you, Joanne. As far as his cognitive, though, there's the moon. So I got one card that says that his mind is in the decline, but it's self-induced as well, too. Traveling is hard. Ask anybody who's ever toured, like if you've done some sort of band or whatever, if you got to go to place to place to place to place, that's hard. And he is constantly under defense for everything. He's being sued 100 ways from Saturday. He's the threat of going to jail. Letitia James still wants all his money. And he's 78 years old. This does not get easier. So it's all of that weight upon a normal person. It's a lot. And so he's constantly paranoid, looking over his shoulder. He believes the shadows are moving, that type of thing. And so he does not rest well. He will not rest well, actually. I think that's part of his karmic punishment. He's not going to rest well. There's always something on his mind. I don't care if all of his cases get dismissed tomorrow. There's still something on his mind, and it always will be. So he will always live in a constant state of fear or paranoia. So
and
yes.
The question is, Johnny, how much of that is warranted and how much of that is a lingering guilt? Mm-hmm. Because if you really think you didn't do nothing wrong, you wouldn't be paranoid and scared of your own shadow. If you had a clear conscience, you would not be paranoid.
And when you think the shadows are moving, is because you hid something there, and you think, okay, if somebody comes in the house, just don't look here. But you look there the whole time because you know what they may go in. You're calling attention to it.
It's one of those things, you know.
Bless his heart. Will his refusing to debate hurt him at all with his voters? Because he doesn't want to try it again.
She's so stupid. She's so stupid. Then go ahead, Donnie. You should be running circles around Kamala Harris since she's so stupid. And you're a genius with your weaving. Go ahead.
And she more than likely wants to debate you again because you're the stupid one.
Johnny, did you see the latest speech that he was giving in Detroit when he insulted Detroit to their faces? Talking about the circles in the water that Biden had. I was like, what the hell is he talking about? Like, I need to find the transcript and send it to you because I don't even think he knew what he was talking about at that point. It's like
he was invited to talk to 60 Minutes and he turned them down and then was all pissed off because Kamala did talk to them.
It was like if you took an AI program and just had it write a random speech. That was Trump. Like, except AI would probably do a better job, you know?
Sun card on the bottom, that's a yes. Kamala rides forward to the White House. Arrogant Trump looks like, what's he trying to hide? So, yeah. She gets the successful votes.
Melinda said it was the fart and weave.
The fart and weave. There we go. FEMA. FEMA. Got to weave around that noise to try to hide it.
I saw it on Morning Joe, and it was like, even Mika was like, I don't have enough ranch in the world to make sense of that salad that came out of his mouth. It's like
that weaving word salad. It's like throwing random words out there that just pop into his head.
Campaigning. He should go sit down. So you said all you need to say. We've heard all you're going to say. You keep saying the same thing. Just go sit down somewhere. You either won or you lost at this point.
He can't. He can't.
You have no one to win.
The people.
What's he going to do after post-election when he doesn't have any campaigning to do? He doesn't get any adoration.
He's going to do what he did before he started ramping up his campaign. Talking and crashing weddings at Mar-a-Lago. And talking about
DJing at Mar-a-Lago.
They stole crashing weddings to talk about how the election was stolen. I would be, if I was one of these dumbasses that paid a crap ton of money to go to that podunk Mar-a-Lago and West Palm Beach, and some old drunk grandpa walked in and totally hijacked my freaking reception to talk about his grievances, I would be demanding a refund.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so to answer Johnny's question, no, it doesn't help him. There's gossip and people chit-chatting because this doesn't look good. Suffering and confusion, nervousness. People, maybe not his hardcore supporters, he could go to their house, kill their dog, set their house on fire, and steal the dog and steal the car, and they would still vote for him because it would somehow be Kamala's fault that happened. Those people will never leave. The other people see it for what it is. So,
because if the Democrats didn't make houses so flammable, they wouldn't have burned down.
Yeah, exactly, Johnny.
There is a change in fate. This may be around also with the King of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. Big business. So does it hurt with MAGA? No. But does it hurt maybe with some people who wish to pump more money into him? Yes. But he doesn't need it anymore. He just steals it from who's already there. The Apprentice. There's a movie coming out. Well, has come out on October the 11th, actually.
Oh, so it already
Called
came out like a movie in the theaters? In the theater. Oh, wow.
It's called The Apprentice, and apparently it is about Roy Cohn and his influence in making of Donald Trump. I've read some of the reviews, and people love the movie itself. Like the acting, they said the acting is top notch so far. I've seen like 4-star reviews. There are a few in there that say, of course, this is a hit piece, and how convenient it come out a month before the election. There's one person I remember seeing wrote in all capitals, "I am not a Trump supporter, but you can clearly see this is a hit piece." What effect does this have upon the MAGA voter specifically, if any? Mm-hmm.
Say it again, Johnny.
What effect does this have on the MAGA voter, if any? The movie.
Oh, the movie. Well, because it's not playing on Fox, they won't see it.
Some of them went to see it. Well, in the comments, some of them went. Apparently, they are Trump supporters, and they went to see it for whatever reason.
So the million-dollar question is, how soon before they start threatening the producer and the actors and the people on set and the people that delivered the food on set? Like, just wait. Just wait. Because, I mean, if you're going after the Weather Channel, why not go after actors and producers and food delivery people?
Crazy. I didn't see that one coming, I still got to say.
But I get the majority of them still clean. Because they're like-minded. So the majority of them still clean until there's more breaking out through investigations about him that reveal more. Yeah, I mean, my parents to their dying day thought Nixon shouldn't have resigned, were like appalled that he resigned. They were going to back him to the nth degree. There's going to be some people like that where they're going to be Trumpsters till they're dead and gone.
Jen, look no further than the people that are currently sitting in prison because they did something Donald Trump told them to do.
Yeah.
To this day, no remorse. No remorse at all. I don't get that it changes MAGA people at all. If anything, it just gets them angrier. If this is anger, it increases here. And they might look for opportunities to be critical and hateful more than normal. And if they see an opportunity, they'll take it. I'm not saying riots or unaliving people, but these people react with violence and anger. Not all of them, some of them. Do you see what I'm saying? But
gives them something else to lash out at.
Yeah, but here, if this is anger, it increases. And there's opportunity and risk. Some of them might get riskier and doing this right here, but they just get angry. They get angrier than because these people live in a reality of just constant anger. So they'll just go from level 10 to like level 15, and that'll be their baseline, so.
There's a few changings in perspectives with the Hangman because there's some things that they didn't know about him prior to the movie. But for the majority, 99.9%, there's the Page of Swords and the Moon. The Moon is plots and schemes, and the Page of Swords is lies and gossip. So they just figure you're lying on him. This is a hit piece. They become defensive with the Seven of Wands. I get it.
Just like COVID. Never thought I'd drink bleach, but Trump told me to, so must be a great idea.
Give it a shot. It doesn't smell good, but neither does cough syrup. So I mean,
And then why is there a poison control phone number on here? A bunch of
It's for
peckerwood.
the people who drink too much of it. That's what it is.
Mhm.
Americans don't know when to say when, I think. Silly question. I'm going to ask it away. Why are people leaving his rallies? Because my thing is, why show up at all if you're just going to leave 10 minutes? He says the same thing. Why do you drive all the way out here and just leave again?
Some of them were paid to be there,
That's
so
what
they
I
wait
wanted to
till
know. It's
the
different
money
thing.
hits their Venmo, and then thank you.
Thank you.
And you know what? I wouldn't do it, but it just seems like his rantings are just so, they're getting crazier and crazier. Like the stuff he was saying in Detroit, that I don't know, maybe some people are going like, okay, what's he gonna say now? Like,
It's incomplete sentences. It's just random thoughts.
what's the word I'm looking for, Johnny? Like the freak shows where you can't help but go see because it's so like,
A
I
train
can't help
wreck.
but look.
yeah.
Bless their heart. I'm not going all the way out there just to turn around and leave.
Well, the ones that left Coachella early are probably very glad they did, because they probably got a bus.
They couldn't.
Everybody that
They
waited till the end of the rally probably, were pissed they didn't leave early.
There's a sign down the street that says no pedestrians and no hitchhikers on the road.
Because he's repeating the same old, and trying to show strength and trying to be blustery, and they're finding that he's leaving them out. His rhetoric is leaving them out. They don't feel included in his world. That they don't feel like he's going to take care of them the way that they want to be taken care of. They feel like it's blah blah blah, just all talk. They're still like-minded with them. So if they're racist or whatever, they're still like-minded with them, but they don't feel like he's doing anything for them.
I pulled a line of 7, and I got house, scythe, garden, letter, birds, writer, and key. People are leaving because there's something about the rallies themselves where people don't feel safe, because there's accidents that have happened suddenly, or with the scythe between house and garden, it's like family accident or an accident at the park. Do you see what I'm saying?
Have you seen the pictures post-rally of all the trash after his rallies? Like they just leave mess everywhere at his rallies.
Also, perhaps people don't feel like they're part of that. You're in a cult, but you don't feel like you're part of the community, if that makes sense. Do you see what I'm saying? It's so weird to say it, because they all have the hive mentality, but that doesn't mean they're friendly to each other. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like people don't feel safe there. Some of them don't. I don't get no money cards at all. And you got
They're
4.
seeing the nuts that are supporting him.
Yeah,
that are
I mean,
loud.
there's potential for danger here, besides the pew pew that happened twice or whatever, and especially people that take their kids. Why would you do that? Like, it's a hostile environment. You know what I mean? Like, also what he says at the rallies, it's repetitive. And then we've already heard it, we're leaving. I got my answer, I'm leaving. And that's it, but I get mostly the atmosphere is not conducive to personal safety, or the safety of people who take their families with them. Because even Like, I'm not saying pew pew or anything like that. I'm just saying there's something about the energy in the crowd that gets dangerous, if that makes sense.
They're riled up.
It's like sitting in a room full of like rabid wolves or something. They may
Yeah.
not be attacking anything, but you can see it in their face. They're
Yeah.
they're red meat, that they're hanging on to his every weird word, and they just have a look in their eye.
Yeah.
Three of Swords in the Tower mimics the same thing. There's a betrayal and disaster, accidents, anything of that nature. And then there's also the Nine of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. So you have the Nine of Pentacles, which is the lump sum of money. You have the Ace of Pentacles, which is your opportunity. You have the Eight of Pentacles, which is work, so you're being paid. You have the Knight of Pentacles, which is a indication that you're part of a gig, so you are extra, if you will. And then there's the Seven of Pentacles, which means this is an investment. So they have actual professional stand-ins, if you will, or people who may go from area to area if you're in the same state. So
like that's their job. They go from rally to rally, and
they get paid. And I saw somebody interview one of the people that were leaving. They're like, "Yeah, I just got paid. I'm leaving." So I guess they're paying people to show up, stay there 15 minutes, take a picture, tweet it or whatever, and then after they do that, the money hits their Venmo account and bounce. That was the quickest $50 I ever made. You know what I mean? Like. And speaking of which, paid actors, Johnny, I just saw it today. The thing with the firefighters. Did you see that?
Yeah, the fake firefighters.
Fake firefighters now.
Oh, good God.
Fake firefighter. I mean, it's no different than the fake union workers.
Yeah, fake everything. I suppose.
Like I said, he views life through the prop of a camera. If I can make it look good on TV, reality doesn't matter.
Because that's all I ever knew of him is what TV told me. So I guess that's his MO. Everything in his life is fake. Everything.
His hair,
his own children don't love him. His wife is there because they're transactional. So I can't even put it all on her like she's a gold digger. You got her because of the way she looks. She got you because she thought you had a lot of money.
Yeah,
everything in his life is fake.
She had to spread her legs and sleep with him to have Baron, and that's just like no. No.
We gotta ask my question, Johnny. Are they fake flies or real flies?
No. We got one more question, and that's it. Last question. Kamala Harris was at a town hall and was asked, "Can you name 3 virtues of Donald Trump?" And she could not name any.
Can anybody, Johnny?
I'm going to ask, can we name a virtue, just even one, of Donald Trump? Just one. If you can't get 3. If you can't get 3.
He's creative because you got to be creative to come up with all those lies.
I'll take that.
If that's being creative is a virtue. It may be more of a talent or a gift.
Yeah, I'll take it too.
He does creative financing that ends up in bankrupt court. Creative gifting.
I got nothing. I get the 9 of Swords, which is worry and stress. I get the Death, which is an ending, and the 5 of Wands, which is fighting. Some people are not meant to be virtuous. Some people are meant to be examples of what not to do.
I said, please give me one example of Donald Trump's virtue. That was the first card. That's like, nope.
The coffin.
I was like, all right, let me just pull 2 more for craps and giggles. His education.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, which one? Because he cheated his whole way through school too. So that's not even a virtue, or maybe it's lack of education. I don't know. Let me pull one more. Like, you know, no, it can't be Trump University because that got killed. It's just, maybe it's the knowledge that he's alone. Knowledge and alone. But this together would be like a library university. But I'm just going to go with knowledge and alone, because school and his education just doesn't,
I get the loser's mouth. Everything he says highlights for us, shines a light for us on things that need investigating. Everything that he draws attention to should be drawing the Justice Department in, and also shows how he has bullied the party, the Republican Party, and manipulated them. His virtue is drawing attention to things that people should be paying attention to.
I like that comment that Johnny had up. If there's one thing Donald Trump was successful at, was the world uniting against him, and not just us.
And I don't think that was on purpose. I don't think he intended that, but that's at least what happened out of all of this.
He's a successful con man. Yeah, we were saying at my seminar, Johnny was like, if it wasn't for Donald Trump, y'all wouldn't be here at Jen's seminar, because Johnny and I wouldn't have met if it hadn't been for Donald Trump.
I wouldn't have met these two. I wouldn't have met half the people in the chat, you know?
We wouldn't be doing Betty Boots every Sunday night if it wasn't for Donald Trump.
I don't think we can attribute that to a virtue. That's just a good thing that came out of
happenstance.
It's a happenstance, because I mean, if that man has an ounce of virtue, then I'm the freaking tooth fairy, dude. Like, I just don't.
He's making us all aware of things we should keep our eyes on in the government.
Johnny, what does your shirt say?
This was created by Doris. It says Joyce Back Harris Walls, and you can get it from her page. And oh Lord, I don't have the link now, but that's what it says. Okay, so next week we will be on Jen Lynn's channel. Thank y'all for the likes and the super chats and the views. It was 2,200 of you in here. Appreciate all of you, and I will see y'all. We will see y'all next week. I will see some of y'all in class. Bye-bye.